Hola. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Did you end up finish watching that movie?
Which one?
The one when we were leaving the family reunion.
Yeah. That was good.
I have to watch it sometime. Oh, that reminds me. April's not going to be here.
Oh.
I forgot. Because it's their anniversary.
Oh, cool.
So, I may need to...
What are you doing?
Here. Do this. Do this.
I have no idea if anybody's in there. I'm just going to sit here while you continue to type. And I'm going to be like 7 years ago.
The Iron Internet.
Our forefathers put forth a great nation.
You're so funny. There we go. There's a couple of people. Ooh, Kim. So, you know, I told you that you saw that I added Monopoly Go to my game repertoire on my phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the only reason I did that is because I started seeing in my news feed and a couple of my Facebook friends play it, and they were asking each other, swapping pieces and doing
who's
stuff.
that on the bottom?
Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
And so I uploaded it. I started playing on it. It's okay. It's cool. So I opened it up yesterday for some reason, and there was way more money on it than like how much I had won or whatever than what I remember. It was only like a couple thousand. So I was like, what does this thing like keep roll? Like what happens? Did I have all that much? Well, then Carol let me know that Ladessa started playing it. So today, Ladessa and I are out riding around, and she starts getting, she's like, oh, I'm going to get you. And I'm like, what is she talking about? She's like, oh, no, you didn't. Oh, I'm going to get you. I can't believe you had the nerve to do that. And I was like, what is she talking about? Well, let me tell you. Apparently, Kim plays Monopoly Go, and she... and Ladessa have been going back and forth, like hitting each other's house, like knocking stuff down, stealing money from each other. She said, I'm addicted. I'm telling you, it was the funniest thing to watch today because on her profile, it's Kimberly. So she kept saying Kimberly, and I was like, who are you talking about? She's like, this Kimberly lady, man, and I was like, that's Kim Root. And she's like, who? I was like, the lady that sent us all the shirts. And she's like, I don't even feel bad. So, Kim, keep hitting her. She's enjoying it. It's really funny. She's having a good old time with it. So, let's see. Mountain Hunter Homestead. That's a new one, isn't it? I don't remember hearing that one.
I think so.
I'm messing them up. Am I hitting them? No, I guess there's like you guys do like raids or bank heists or when you go in to like knock things and it hits a shield or whatever. It's just funny. She just laughs because she'll see these little like notifications will pop up and it'll say Kimberly just stole $1,500 or Kimberly just whatever, and she's hilarious. She makes me laugh so hard. They must have unknown names. I'm assuming mine's under my name, but I don't know. It's funny. So I was laughing. But anyway, you don't have your phone on you, do you? No. Love your hat. Is that the new style?
I'm hip.
You are hip.
Yeah.
I want you to know that we are old. And more specifically, I am old. Over the last 2 days, we've been in and out of Clemson, door dashing. And they must have had like a formal last night, and then today must have been like everybody was doing pub crawls or whatever. So like all of downtown was just flooded with young folks. And I saw a dress yesterday that I told Carol, I said, I hope her daddy doesn't know that she spent his money to buy that dress. Because he would whoop her hiney if he knew. There was like pieces of cloth right here. Like right here. And then like a string here. And then there was nothing here. And then it somehow magically attached at the waist and went down. From the back side, it was beautiful.
You need that dress.
No, but... And then she's walking around like... It was ridiculous. I was like, come on now. Like, that's a little much. To be walking around downtown, like, going to parties. And, I mean, I imagine at some point there had to have been a wardrobe malfunction. There had to be at some point. And then today, we were watching, I mean, it was awful. Kids just walking in the middle of the road. They don't care. Like, they just block all of the roads downtown. We were going down a side street, and this one girl was so inebriated. And she's going down a hill. And remember, it rained today. So the roads are kind of slick. And there's leaves and all kinds of stuff around. And I mean to tell you, she about like ate it going. And you could tell she was so just beyond drunk. And what was nice was watching Ladessa's reaction to it. Because, she's 16. So, when we were that age, we were starting to think about, partying. And you're a lie. So it was interesting to watch her reaction and being like, she wasn't judgmental, but she was very much like, she felt bad for her because she's like, first of all, you should never be out running around by yourself. Like, she said that, not me. So I was like, okay, we've instilled that in her. She was like, she is all by herself. There's nobody to take care of her. Nobody's watching her. And then she like started to fall, and people around her were like, but nobody was rushing to help her, And it was just, I got to see some outfits today that I was like, even back in the day, I wouldn't have worn those. It's pretty bad. And then like some green sequin, like boots. You know what kind of boots I'm talking about? And had the heel, like stiletto heel like that. And they're walking around on these broken roads. And I'm going, what are you doing? I'm old. Because I'm thinking with my ankles and my knees, there ain't no way you're catching me walking around like that out there. Not happening. So I go back to, I'm old. Judging people about what they're wearing.
Well, we up-potted.
And now that we're done with that section of the talk.
We have what? 12 eggplants?
More than that.
No, I'm sorry, that's wrong.
There were 13 in a line.
Yeah. So we have like...
Ladessa said you did 3 flats of each one, right?
Yeah, so we have...
3, that's 18.
That's 18 eggplants.
No, 36, because there's 2 eggplants.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we have 36 eggplants.
36 eggplants.
So we're going to do a video on this hopefully this week coming, or maybe it'll come out the week after. But I'm sure most of y'all saw the trays that we got from Vigo Garden. And they're big,
Not to be mistaken from the bad guy from Ghostbusters
2. They're big, long trays, and most of them have rows of 13, but there's a couple rows that's only 12 because it has the little notches in it. So when you're planting a row, if you plant all of that row, the same thing, you're going to have theoretically 13, if they all come up, 13 of each. So that's what I did when I did eggplant, because we're going to dehydrate the heck out of some eggplant.
That's what I was telling my one buddy when he came over Friday, and Iona's like, eggplant, yuck. Well, you have not lived until you have dehydrated some eggplant with some different seasonings on them and had eggplant chips.
Yep.
Because I'm telling you, you put the Doritos away.
You toss them in a little bit before you dehydrate them. You toss them in just a teeny bit of olive oil, and then whatever kind of seasonings you want, and then put them in the dehydrator. You know, one thing I thought would be good, and I don't know how crazy. I want to pickle
some this year, like how we did the squash.
We'll have to cut them pretty thick though. But those eggplant chips are very addictive, especially if you cut them right and you season them right.
We should try it on the slicer.
That's what we did with like the mechanical slicer.
My meat slicer.
Maybe
get them super thin.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know that would do any good, but but they do take a while to dehydrate because of how the water comes out of them. Well, I think this year we'll actually humid too. Well, and I think this year actually we'll treat them like how we did how you do them before you do eggplant parmigiana, like where you dry, like you sprinkle salt on them and you let them sit out and the water comes up out of the eggplant. And then we can pat them dry and then put them in. So that'll help pull some of the moisture out before.
I would like to try to ferment some and also pickle some.
Fermenting would be good, but I bet you would have to cut it almost like how you do like carrot sticks. Like cut them a long way. Yeah, that would probably be good.
Because I love me some fermented carrot sticks. I ain't gonna lie.
And I got carrots.
What?
I've got carrots coming up, so.
We also lost a whole bed of strawberries.
What?
The one that's closest to the grapevines.
There's still strawberries in there.
I couldn't find any today when I went out there. There is one huge mustard plant.
There's more than one huge mustard. There's some kale in there.
And I went ahead and took a little bit. Ate a little bit. And
it's hot.
It wasn't hot, but it was a good spice to it.
Yeah. So there are some strawberries.
I would like to have try that on my Valhalla burger next time.
There are some strawberries in there. Just kind of have to look for them. On the other, did you look at the other bed too?
So the other bed too is solid.
Yeah,
and it's got flowers.
Yeah. The other cool thing is if you really look tomorrow night.
I thought it was freezing tonight.
No, tomorrow night. If you look in the corners where we didn't pull the tarp all the way back or the water fell down and it kind of got in the corners of the beds, there are some plants that like died back, but they're starting to push up through the ground again. So I want to get out into this one that you said that we've lost a lot of the strawberries and actually get in there and clean it out and be very careful as we're cleaning it out, because I have a feeling there are going to be some plants in there that have maybe died back and are going to come back.
Did I miss the sweet potato update?
Nope, not yet. We got to do that too.
Remember, we were just stupid sick for the last
almost dead the last month.
I lost 10 pounds.
And what y'all don't know, because the last time you saw us last Saturday night, we had not gone through what we went through this week. See, Saturday, Carol got sick Friday night, and Thursday night. And so Friday, she had to stay home, and Jason and I went to Augusta by ourselves. And then Saturday, Jason and I went with LaDessa to a homeschool convention, and we spoke there. And then we came home, and Carol was starting to feel better. And then on Monday, it's so funny to me, the old saying, if you want God to laugh, tell him your plans, right? So Sunday night, we're sitting in bed, and I'm like, I am ready. I'm feeling good. We're going to start this week off right. I'm going to get up in the morning. I'm going to go film this. I'm going to do that. And blah, blah, blah. I mean, I was raring to go. Sunday night / Monday morning, 2:30 in the morning. Mom. And I'm like, whose voice is that? I'm like, come in. And so she comes in the door, and it's Ladessa, and she's like right in my face. And I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, Mom, I just threw up. And I'm like, oh, here we go. So I got up, let you sleep, because I knew we'd probably be tag teaming, you know. And so I got up with her, stayed up with her all night into the morning. I mean, like, just the daily duties, not the puking duties.
Say there ain't no tag teaming.
No, I mean like being a functional adult. Like if I needed to take a nap, you could hang tight for a little while.
The moment they start going bleh.
So I had to deal with that with her. Then later that day, Monday, you got sick and you were tossing your cookies all over the place. And so
That was the worst
I've
ever
awful.
Projectile vomited.
I had to clean the toilet. So, like, I literally had to leave here, go to the store, go get more cleaning supplies to come back to the house to keep the toilet clean because it was awful. It was so bad. And so then we got that all taken care of. It started to slow down like late Monday night, early Tuesday morning. But you both still felt like awful.
Well, it started with the puking. And then it's after the puking we seemed to get that under control.
Yeah, then it went the other direction.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm talking about, I was probably like this close to have to go in to the ER. I
was very close
to get fluid. I mean, Dessa was, Robin was, when it finally, everybody was.
Yeah, I had to really pay attention to everybody's water intake because it was pretty bad. And so they both got over it.
It went from, you know, knowing that you could possibly be dehydrated, getting a little bit of the headache, and then starting to get the leg cramps and the stomach cramps, and it got pretty dangerous. And but the nice thing about it is you know, Robin kept coaching us. Just take a little sip.
Well, the frustrating part was when Carol got it first. I told Carol, you're gonna have to eat. You're gonna have to drink. But I'm just gonna throw... No, you still need... Don't take big gulps. Just take sips. She would never listen to me. At least with you and Ladessa, I was like, just take a sip and put it down. Take a sip, put it down. Have a chip, put it down. You know, and so we kind of got them to where you guys never really had a full empty tummy when you were throwing up, did you?
Oh, yeah, everything came out.
No, but what I mean is, did you ever have to, just put up bile? Yeah. But it wasn't a lot. Yeah. I mean, Carol was doing it a lot because she wouldn't put anything back in, is what I'm getting at. So by the time it got to me, I was a pro at it. I knew what was coming. So as soon as I got sick, I knew I needed to be just, every time I would think about it, I would just take one small sip of water. And I tried to eat a little bit, and it would come, but we got through it. I laid out for a full day afterwards, just like you guys did, and we weren't really feeling better. We're not really better. But it's getting better each day. Thursday, I started to get a little bit of my energy back. Friday, I felt pretty good. Today, I have felt pretty good. But I'm sure I will be tired. Like, when it's time to go to bed, I'm going to be tired, exhausted. So we're going to, we've kind of, I've told a bunch of my friends is we've kind of self-quarantined this week as we self-imposed a quarantine where we really didn't go out for much of anything. I only went to the store a couple of times just to get, reinforcement.
When the whole respiratory thing happened, we pushed it. We went back to church too early, and it really kind of drained us, and I think that kind of opened us up for that stomach bug.
That's what I was telling Dessa.
That went around, and so we kind of, you and I put our foot down. We said, that's it. We're not going anywhere until we're back to 100%.
Yeah.
And so we, in all intent and purposes, we probably could go to church tomorrow, but we're not, because I don't want to. One, I want to make sure that we're 1,000% not contagious, because I really don't want anybody else to have to go through this. And I want to make sure that our immune systems have had plenty of time
to
recuperate and bounce back, because the last thing I want to get now is like the common cold or the flu or anything like that, because I'm really concerned because of the weakened state that we're in, that it could really put us in the hospital this go around.
Yeah.
So we may even lay out a whole nother week. I'm not sure. But it's one of those that I wish everybody would do this, because I feel like
that's how we got exposed to it.
We got exposed to it at church.
Yeah.
Through the children's Carol brought it in through the children's church. And but at the end of the day, though, but if it's a double-sided coin, if everybody did do this, then nobody would do it. It would be hard to be immune to stuff. But it's one of those things. I'm tired of talking about us being sick. I'm ready to move forward. I was very antsy today.
I could tell.
I really like. When you sit down, when you go through an illness, at least for me, when I sit down, when we start to struggle with stuff because we're sick, I literally start to try to problem solve and try to figure out, okay, what's the best solution to make it to where we don't have to struggle through this stuff again. And we need to really probably up what we have in the flu box. We ran out of paper plates, and so we had to start going back to dishes. And and it's one of those. We ran out of the Lysol. We ran out of
Lysol?
I think so.
I
think we're down, or if
we're down to one.
We're down to one can.
Yeah.
And one is none.
Yeah.
So we're out of Lysol. But it's one of those where you really started to see a lot of holes in the armor, for lack of a better term, and so I've been really trying to plug those holes. Hey TJ, how you doing, buddy?
Another thing that we noticed is when we were dealing with just the respiratory thing, the cold and flu, severe cold and flu, daytime and nighttime stuff was helping us get through it. But we have to remember, we're a family of 4. Typically, you don't have all 4 people sick at one time. It's usually like one after the other kind of thing. And you don't normally get sick for 3 weeks. Like, not normally. And so we had enough medicine to get maybe 2 people through a couple weeks, but certainly not 4. So that's something we need to really grab that stuff, put it out there, figure out how much we need, do the math, and make sure we have that, because that was definitely frustrating. Like, going to bed knowing that if we had some NyQuil, we would have probably slept better, but we figured it out after stores closed.
I'm gonna. Well, no, never mind. I want to move on. So, like I said earlier, we started up transition now. Like I said, I'm done talking about that. I'm ready to be positive. I'm ready to move forward.
Speaking of which, tonight, everybody spring forward your clocks an hour. That is tonight. Did you know that? I just ruined your day.
Who?
Cares.
I'm very anxious, maybe the word. I'm very anxious to get this growing season really underway. I'm ready. I have so many experiments or so many things I want to try this year. Robin and I have pretty much come together as a solid team, both looking at the same. Well, I mean, we're always a solid team, but after last year's debacle because of me, when it comes to the garden, Robin and I have the same goal in mind this year, I guess is the best way to put this, when it comes to the garden and growing food. So you guys are going to be in for some real treats here this growing season here, because we were down for a month. So
we watched a lot of YouTube.
So we watched some YouTube videos. We flipped through some books. We were like, we could try that. We could try that. We could try that. And so, especially you guys that don't have a lot of space to grow, we are going to be doing a lot of space-saving stuff. Again, I want to give another shout out to M.I. Gardner. His seeds, again, germination rate is up there, competing, rivaling the before 2020 Baker Creek seed germination. When you would put in 5 seeds and 5 seeds would come up, I think when you put in 5 M.I. Gardner seeds, I think you have 7 plants come up.
They magically appear.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
So if you guys are still thinking about seeds, and again, he's the best price on the market right now too. These other people, they need to get Haas. One of my friends at church, he ordered a bunch of seeds from Haas, and exactly, thumbs down. His seeds were sitting in Virginia. That was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
But Haas is in Georgia.
Exactly. That's what he said. He's like, I could literally drive there in a couple of hours and pick up my seeds if they would let me.
That makes
But they
no
got to ship them,
sense.
and they went to Virginia instead of coming to him.
The hub should have gone to Atlanta and then gone to...
I believe they probably misshipped them.
Wow.
But it's one of those that sometimes, some folks get a little bit too big for britches, and they need to be remind what size britches they wear.
Well, and the thing is that like even the Mary's heirloom seeds that we got, I was excited to get those seeds.
I was hoping to see Sydney. I gotta send Sydney a polo.
Yeah,
none of
those chocolate habanero seeds came up. Like none of them, and they were under the same conditions as all the other stuff. They were in that same tray.
Yeah, they're in the same pepper tray.
And nothing. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, but yeah, I definitely am thrilled with the germination rate we've had. Neon, I have not seen that. I'll have to look it up and look at it. She said, "Did you see his lazy seed savings video?" I will tell you, he's the one that I watched to do the sweet potato slips, and I can't wait to show y'all what I got going on there.
That's
pretty cool. That's pretty exciting. So, although, not that he would ever watch our stuff, but if he would do another video on what to do with them after they get to this point, I would really appreciate that, but I don't think he has. So anyway, because all of my friends do it the old-fashioned way where you hang it over some water with toothpicks and...
Well, the Viking guy that I watched about it, with it going in dirt, he just kind of like peeled them off.
Yeah,
and then separated them and stuck them in water, and then when it was time to take them out there, he did.
Yeah.
Call Karen Windswept. I bet she knows.
Karen, I don't know if, do you do sweet potato slips with the soil? I know we had a bunch of people last time telling me that I should completely cover them or different things, but they've turned out really well so far. We're obviously waiting until. I was starting to get excited, thinking that we weren't going to have a frost, that maybe we might like skirt through March without a frost. But
even if we were, right now we can't plant anything.
No, I know.
It's a swamp.
It's a swamp outside. But I looked at the weather, and it looks like tomorrow night is supposed to be 32. And I'm a little upset about that because, once again, we have tons of peach blossoms on our trees. And between this nasty rain and wind and the frost, I fear that we may not have peaches again this year. So I was trying to twist Jason's arm tomorrow to see if he'd let Carol get up high on in the bucket so we could just throw our 19. We have this huge.
If we'll see how wet it is tomorrow. The problem is the angle that the peach tree is on.
Yeah, you don't want.
And I don't want to get her that high up in all of that mud.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we don't want that. All of the slip techniques work. Those things just want to grow. I'm telling you, like, I'm impressed. Because at first I was like, okay, this isn't going to work. Like, it's not going to work. And then, out of nowhere, started seeing a little bit.
I can't speak for you.
Mm-hmm.
Wish I could. I mean, I do in my head sometimes. And then I get confused of whether or not
I actually said it.
I've had that conversation with you in person, or you had it in my head. This TBI's killer sometimes. I know, did I talk to her about that for real?
That's so
or
funny.
Did I just talk about it in my head? But everything that pops up,
mm-hmm.
I get more and more excited.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am crazy excited about this whole sunflower thing that we're going to do this year. I can't wait for it to dry out, so that way Steck is going to let us use a tiller
mm-hmm.
that hooks up to my tractor.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to share all of that with you guys. I'm very excited about that with them, with the different implements that they're going to be letting us use this spring. And I think it's really, 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 really going to help our homestead here, especially if we're able to use that spade thing that Jay was talking about first, where the sod turner. Because unfortunately, before us, this ground has been impacted
mm-hmm.
hardcore, and so we need to flip
the layers,
over,
yeah,
and then start getting all this organic matter
mm-hmm.
and stuff back on top, and and so I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm looking forward to growing our own popcorn again this year. We did that one year, and we had 4 or 5 ears. And then we popped them, and that was the best
popcorn ever.
Oh, and of course I was like a crackhead. I didn't let it hang out for a while. I just popped it all at once and ate it all, and I was like, that was stupid. So I'm probably going to grow 800,000 ears this year of it, so I got plenty of popcorn, because that's my crack. Mm-hmm. Don't judge me. I ain't afraid to admit it. My name is Jason, and I'm addicted to popcorn.
So it's funny you say that. Mine is okra. I could eat okra every day, all day.
I'm a little upset with Jess. Over there at Roots and Refuge.
Why?
Because she made me a 2-thing crack addict.
Yeah, eating raw okra and then
okra right off of
the vine,
off of the
mm-hmm.
stalk.
Yeah.
Oh, I bless that woman for bringing that into my life. But yet, it gets my butt beat by my wife.
Mm-hmm. Because then I can't. get any okra. Well, so it was funny because we're really, I'm really happy this year. We're staying on top of seedlings right now. Like we've kind of, okay, this time, like I feel like timing wise, we're set to be able to have everything ready. No, don't even. We're, as far as the timetables go, we've set everything up so by the last frost date is what I'm talking about.
Oh.
And so I think we are set to be at the time when the last frost date comes, we will have decent size, not huge plants, but decent sized plants to be able to take out there and get started, you know, and not have to go buy plants or rescue plants or all of that stuff.
We have leeks. We have leeks for the first time.
Mm-hmm. We have to get those out in the soil soon.
I am crazy excited about that.
My
main man Luke is, woo.
What?
I'm loving me some Luke right now because we've been getting all that fish stuff, and I'm literally just gonna continue to take the backhoe, dig it out, dump the fish in there, put the dirt back on top, and then I'm going to build like a little mini raised bed on top. I'm going to put some more compost, organic matter on top, and then we're going to plant.
Okay.
So keep bringing those fish, my brother.
I'm a seed addict. I want to grow it all. I'm a tomato addict.
I'm that way too.
Well, the thing, we got to start budgeting some stuff because we've got to get some more seed. We dropped, I don't know, $20-$30 with him and got the seeds that I knew we needed to start when we needed to start.
I thought you made a second order.
I haven't put it in yet though. Oh. So, but I want to get, I think we've got the cucumbers that I want to plant.
You got any dragon eggs?
I don't think he has dragon eggs. But I think I only got one cucumber, and that could be a problem. But I got a pickling cucumber.
Yes.
Did y'all talk to Ben Holler about the walking onions? Not yet.
No, not yet.
They've been sick too. They just recently got out of being sick too, right? So.
Oh, they got a lot on their plate right now too.
He's building an addition to their house,
anyway.
and yeah. So, the okra. I want to get a couple of things of okra seed.
I love the Star of David. I'm not very...
We haven't found any seed anywhere.
I am not very fond of the Clemson Red.
Alabama Red.
Whatever.
Clemson Spineless. Which is funny, but anyway.
If the shoe fits. I love the Star of David. Mm-hmm. Now, again, I'm eating that one straight off the vine. Mm-hmm. You know.
We did the heavy hitters was it 2 years ago? Last year?
We didn't do anything last year.
2 years ago. We had the heavy hitter seed, and they did pretty well, but the ones that actually did the best, wasn't the Clemson Spineless, it was the Perkins Long Pod. We had they get really long and they stay tender, and then we had the Burgundy, the Crimson.
Mm. That Long Pod one wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm. So I've got to look at some okra seed, and we got to start okra seed here pretty soon. Because we're getting into that. We're only about like 4-ish weeks now. We're kind of getting into that.
This week coming, we get to start squash, cucumbers.
Mm-hmm.
We've already got tomatoes started, beans.
Mm-hmm.
How many tomatoes do we have going?
We have 5 different types of tomatoes, but each...
Have they broke ground yet?
Yes.
Okay.
But if I remember correctly, I only did 8 or 7 or 8 of each.
Well, they're all indeterminate, right?
I have 1 determinate.
Yeah, so...
1 determinate. The rest are indeterminate. How are the Dollar Tree seeds doing? Well, you're lucky, Kim, because not all mine germinated. I put all of them in the bag. We waited. I think maybe out of each one, I may have gotten, I think in some cases I only got 2 or 3.
And they all come up looking like corn.
You're funny. That's a movie reference if you didn't get that. But I did all of the peppers. They were all my pepper seeds. So we took those, the ones that did germinate, and we put them in soil and lightly covered them with a little bit of soil, watered them in real good, and they are coming up as plants. So we'll see how they go from there. Dollar Tree seeds always look small. I will say that the pepper seeds were kind of a little smaller than what I remember seeing of Luke's seeds when I was planting. But a lot of Luke's, the seeds that I'm thinking of were like the giant bell pepper, like the big bell pepper. So, you know, when you have a bigger
I'm looking forward to some patty pan squash.
And that's the thing is, like, the seed that we do have before we start ordering stuff, we are going to do like a quick germination test on everything before we start putting it in the ground. So really, we should probably start some of that like tomorrow or Monday, so that if they don't germinate, we can, you know, hurry up and get something else in. Some die because my soil grew fungus in the greenhouse. I'm a beginner. Are you talking about like the green stuff that gets on the top of the soil? I've heard, and Karen, you can correct me on this. Can't you take like cinnamon and put a little bit of cinnamon on the top of the soil so that it'll kill fungus and keep fungus from growing? Isn't that, pretty sure we all did that one year because everybody was having issues with potting soil or something like that, growing all that stuff. And so I think we sprinkled like cinnamon. I think it was cinnamon on it. But yeah, so that stinks. Oh, white fuzzies. Yeah. That's too much water. You got to make sure that you're not. I put cinnamon, it didn't matter. Okay. Yeah, that's one of the things you gotta be careful with is watering. Jason and I always go back and forth about top watering versus bottom watering. And I think when you're first starting your seeds, it's okay to do top watering. But
It has to be a mister. And you should, in all honesty, if you could set it up, you should be misting about every 15 to 30 minutes. And it's just misting for a minute or so.
Grew mushrooms too. Wow. So that's in the soil.
Yeah, I want to grow some mushrooms.
Yeah.
I want to do it through the buckets. I've been, when we were watching all those videos out there, I want to.
One thing at a time, baby. But once they start growing like plants, you got to be careful with the water getting on the plant itself. Mm-hmm. You want it to be on the soil. That's when those little
That's when the
bubblers come in. But me, I don't have the time to go out there every 15 minutes to do that. So I bottom water. I just make sure I have good long trays and even boot trays, and I put water on the bottom.
We need to get some more of those trays and and stuff, because you do have very good success with that. Mm-hmm. Look, I don't believe, even when I was getting my horticulture degree, that's what they taught us in the greenhouse. Mm-hmm. They had the ability, they had the micro irrigation, they had the misters that hung down,
right?
And so we misted,
right?
And we had a decent germination rate that way. Well, if you don't have the ability to do that, nobody can go out there and mist every 15 minutes or so. Then the bottom watering technique does the same thing. Again, I guess I'm kind of from a school of different thought maybe, but I I like to it's not that I like to, I have to do things in a way that I don't have to rely on me remembering to go and do something. I can remember, sitting down, before I sit down at a meal to go check my bottom, the trays in there, and if they need a little bit more water, to add a little bit more water. That's something that I can get into a routine with. I can't get into a routine stopping my day every 15 minutes to go. I can't. And I don't know that many people that can. And so I really like to keep things where, and this may be where Robin and I are a little bit more at an advantage than everybody else out there, because we do have this hamstring here of the TBI with my memory and a lot of the stuff that I can't remember and be able to do anymore, that it puts us in a spot where we have to think outside the box, where 70-year-old lost dude or Luke or somebody like that can then put some of these things that we're doing now into play. And as we get to be 70-year-old Jason, we're going to have all of those kinks worked out.
Already done. Yeah.
And so, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, we're still going to, as long as, things don't go too awful crazy and we lose YouTube.
Hawkeye Howard, hey, what's up? 70? He means when you get to 70, not that you're 70 now.
Why does Hawkeye Howard sound familiar?
They were the ones that ride the bikes. Him and, is her name Leslie? I think. Leslie Howard. Try 54. No, we know that. Anyway.
Have the green crayon.
Jinx, you owe me a soda. That was weird.
So we have these things that we have to get in place now.
Kim, that's it. Kim, not Leslie.
This year with the garden, you guys are going to see a lot of that stuff come into play. The whole black cloud looming over that I may end up in a wheelchair thing. Well, I still want to be able to grow my own food. And so some of the stuff that we're going to be doing is going to be, okay, well, if that happens, I can still do it. And so we're going to be experimenting, starting, figuring, whatever the right words are, to have this kind of stuff in play so I can have my BLT and everything comes from my homestead and I know what's in everything.
Speaking of which, we're going to sidetrack for just a second and then we'll call it a night. Doug rode his Harley a while back. Maybe you'll remember that. Yeah. Okay. I turned 70 a few weeks ago and my garden is growing strong. Just wish I'd been easier on this body 50 years ago. I think we all feel that way. So we, in order to keep things easy at the house, we've been making a lot of sandwiches. And I'm not talking about just like ham and cheese sandwiches. I'm talking like subs, like hoagies sandwiches. And yesterday, Carol and I were eating, and I looked at Carol and I said, look up how long it takes to make your own provolone. And she was like, about 2 months. And I was like, how long does it take to cure and ferment and everything with pepperoni? And she looked it up for me. What about salami? And she looked it up for me. I was like, I want to set a goal.
We got to get the big sleeves.
By this time next year, so within a year, I want to be eating my own deli sandwich.
We've got to make that. I'm right there with you, but I need to get that old. I need to be able to get over that, and I'll get. I guess I'll either twist Luke's arm or Link's to get over there.
Well, isn't it over there by Luke's place? Is that?
I think so. I don't know. I get so turned around over there on that side of town. But to be able to make that
cheese cave,
like cheese cave, sausage cave, kind of thing, because those things got to sit. They can get mold on them,
right.
So they got to sit in like 50. It's got to be like 45, 50 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what the book said.
Mm-hmm.
And but I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But we got to get the big honking sleeves. Just like I want to make my own bologna, my own lemon and bologna.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got the recipes now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Let's see. Growing food for disabled. Kim. Yeah, I had lots of... So that's something Windswept said. She said, I've noticed over the past few years that soil is not the same as it used to be. We found plastic pieces, chunks of pottery, and moldy patches in the bags. Different places and brands.
What is Luke saying?
Hold on. And then Kim says, yeah, I had a lot of chunks of things. Just thought that some fungus was normal, but maybe these bags had too much. And of course, Karen said, no, some is normal, but no, it shouldn't be all of it. Hawkeye said, since I've been gone, I had triple bypass and a heart attack and a pacemaker.
Oh,
wow. Whew.
But you're good now, right?
Glad you're back.
You're
glad
now,
you're
right?
still kicking on. Kiki Garden just had my first BLT of the season a couple of weeks ago, all from the garden, but the bread and bacon. That's cool. Luke said, what is I know? What is I know?
I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about.
We're talking about, is it Josh?
Yes.
I guess over where Josh is, he's got something that Jason wants to pick up. And so I guess he was going to try and, if it's over there by you, I don't know. I've never been over there. But if it's over by you, then it might be like kind of on your way next time you drop off fish. I don't know. So anyway, so that, I was really like, when I was eating that sandwich, I was like, we can bake our own bread.
Mm-hmm.
I
want to get a wheat berry grinder, and I want to start grinding whole wheat berries, because if it's not the wheat that's giving me the issue, and it's
I don't think it's the wheat, because gluten comes from wheat, not white wheat or whole wheat or whatever. It's from the wheat itself, and we've been playing around with trying whole wheat bread versus the store-bought bread. And we have found, or even our bread that we make, but we use bleached, just the regular bleached flour that you get in the store. And what we've noticed is that if I give you whole wheat bread, no issues. Any of the fancy seed breads or things like that, seems like that works good. Last night you had some pasta that was gluten-free that was made from
that wasn't that bad either.
Corn and rice.
That was pretty good.
Corn and rice flour. And that seemed to be okay. So I think we've kind of narrowed it down to where it's the bleached flour. So,
I want us to start making our own pastas too, since we got that pasta maker, and I think we can make elbow macaronis and stuff like that. So, but it's just about time, y'all. I want to go ahead and members, We will be having a after show.
Mm-hmm.
Give us about 30 minutes though tonight. I'm hungry, and I know Robin is too, and we're going to eat first. So that, and we have a huge announcement in the after show for members. Huge. It's going to be huge. And those of you that are not members may want to become one, because this is definitely going to be a huge benefit for our members, and we're going to be releasing that information tonight. This next week is going to be kind of busy for us, but we're going to try to put out some shorts this week to try to kind of get back in the rhythm of things. And next, the week after that, because this week we're also going to be filming, and so we will. So the following week we'll have full length videos coming out. I go for my colonoscopy next week,
Thursday.
so that should be fun. Not really.
So if you saw the endoscopy video where Jason came off of his anesthesia, that was fun. That was a cool short. So be ready for another one of those, because I'm sure you're going to give me something. Hopefully you won't lick windows again.
So
I love you, honey.
video may be how to successfully get a divorce.
No.
So we just want to thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thanks for continuing to support us while we were sick the last month. We really, 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 really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Next week. Y'all have a good one. Good night, y'all.
God bless.
Colonoscopy sedation isn't as strong as the endoscopy.
I bet it is.
It better be.
Better be. I think I'm gonna put Be Gentle on my butt